You're watching Exam Study Expert. Welcome to Smartphone Spring Clean 10 little tips to tidy and tame the tech in your pocket. Little tips to help you be more productive and less distracted. 10 little things you can implement right now. Let's get started. Number 1, check out the junk. Get rid of any apps you don't use or need anymore. Little tip, if you see the cloud icon beside an app, that's a sign that the phone has detected it's not an app you use very often, so that's probably a good one to get rid of. But also go through and check for any others that really don't earn their place on your phone anymore, particularly things like games or social media apps you'd rather not take up your time. Showcase helpful apps. So move apps to a really prominent location if they're things you want to do more of. For me, that's things like learning, exercise, meditation. Number 3, freshen your filing. If you've got a folder system, take a moment to refresh it and make sure it's all organized and makes as much sense for you as possible. Number 4, tame troublesome apps. So those things, again, that I mentioned in number 1, that are the things you probably don't want to be using so often, if they survived the Great Cull and you feel you really do need them there on your phone, at least take steps to mitigate their impact on your day. So here are 5 little ideas for ways you can do that. Number 1, delete and reinstall. So for me, whenever I want to use Facebook on my phone, I reinstall it and then I delete it when I'm done. Number 2, bury them. So move it to a far-flung screen and bury it deep in a folder. Beware, though, this may be only a temporary fix, as your fingers may quickly learn the right pattern to swipe and tap your way back to that distracting app. Number 3, log out or perhaps use a fresh account. So just that extra little step of having to log back into an app can be all the friction you need to avoid using it so often. Or, as I do with YouTube, use a clean account that you don't use for kind of lighter viewing, and I keep that just on my phone for kind of more educational or inspirational content, so that if I want a quick break for 5-10 minutes in the day, my YouTube is kind of filled with educational, inspirational videos that I know will feed my mind and not suck me in and distract me for too long. Number 4, set hard limits. You can do this via the settings menu from most phones now, and it can allow you to set time limits for how much you want to use a given app each day. And number 5, turn notifications off, including the red splodge on certain apps. So this is how I control WhatsApp. I still have it on my phone, but I have every notification turned off, including the red dot that signals that there's messages waiting for me. And that allows me to keep it there, and then I can log in and check messages on my terms. Number 5, we were talking about notifications just now, but I think this is important enough to make it a point of its own right. Go through and turn off all those notifications, as many as you can. I was quite surprised when I checked just now just how many notifications I still have on. So I went through and turned an awful lot off. There's an awful lot of value in doing that too. Even things like email, ask yourself, do I really need to know when an email comes in, or can I wait and pick it up on my terms at a set time each day? You may need to tell friends and close family that you are adopting this new way of working if they're used to being able to get you at a moment's notice. So urgent and emergency messages really can get through, perhaps by a different mean, for example, calling you or sending a standard text message. Disable location tracking. This is another quick one. If you've got location services on, you may want to turn them off or switch it to only while using the app. This is just a little tip that helps conserve battery life. Number 7, check your storage report. So you may find a little recommendation in there that helps free up some storage space. And then it's worth checking for any apps you think are taking up more than their fair share of storage, particularly if your storage capacity is a little bit limited, and making sure that app is earning its keep, if not perhaps deleting it, or at least deleting the documents in it. Number 8, enable night shift or night mode. This is a nice one just to help with good sleep habits. Schedule your night shift mode to come on a little before your bedtime, and then that helps the phone produce less blue light from the screen, which in turn helps you get a better night's sleep. It's not quite as good as not using your screen at all before bedtime, but if you are going to be using your screen at bedtime anyway, this is a pretty good thing to do. I also recommend dialing up the intensity or the color temperature all the way to the max, so the most warm it will go, because that will that will have the minimum blue light possible. Number 9, redecorate. If you haven't changed your phone background or wallpaper in a while, this is a good moment to do so. It's something you look at many times in a given day for most of us. So make sure it's something that is either beautiful or inspiring or inspires joy or sentimental, like a family photograph. Or perhaps useful. So, if you're a chemist, you might want the periodic table. If you are a linguist, you might want grammar tables, or you might want some equations that you have to look up the whole time. So, save yourself looking them up every time, and set that useful thing to your phone background. And then finally, number 10, let's take a step back and see where we're at and see the impact of everything we've been doing. Go away and check your screen time report. So go into your screen time report, have a look at both the total and then also the breakdown by specific app. So in my case, I was seeing a lot of YouTube, Google, Duolingo, Headspace. Duolingo and Headspace I'm pretty happy with. Those are apps for both learning, for learning in Duolingo's case and meditation in Headspace case, habits that I definitely want in my life, and so I'm very happy about the time I'm spending on those. YouTube I use a lot for background music while I'm working, so I'm not quite so worried about that as you might think by first impressions. I think overall I'm fairly happy, even though my total is quite high. I'm fairly happy it's being spent in sensible ways, and there wasn't anything when I reviewed this, at least just now, that particularly alarmed me. In the past, when I've reviewed my screen time report, I might have seen some silly little silly little game, or perhaps Facebook has been one in the past, taking up huge amounts of screen time, and in alarm I'll go right away and delete that app so that it doesn't cause me problems again. But this time round, I didn't see anything that concerned me too much. It's all about making sure that how you are spending your time on your phone is in line with your values and what you want to prioritize your time on each week. If you're happy with what you see, if you're comfortable, fantastic. If not, then do something about it. I hope you've enjoyed these 10 little tips. Wishing you every success in your studies.